Hey guys, just saw a report. I got like a thing on my phone going ding. You have a new video that you should check out. There's no secret that I follow Grant Cohn, and he just reported that apparently the 49ers turned down the Patriots for a second round pick for Garoppolo during the I think it was it the draft day or something like that or something like that. That just blows my mind really wide open. Here we have a team that is run by Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or shall we say, Stan and Ollie of the NFL. Um, the 49ers are no longer a football team. The 49ers are now a comedy act. It's like, are they trying their best to be the worst? Is that what they're trying to do? Are they trying their best to be rocket scientists, but really not even close? And how can Yed York sit around accepting this, I will call it bullshit? Here we have a club with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and Yed York. I'm going to include all those three clowns. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. The Three Stooges. And then, of course, up against the media, you have Stan and Ollie. But, here we don't hear or see much of Yed York. So we have to take what is being said by the people from the club or from the organization that we see and hear in the media, and that would be Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. I mean, can you find bigger clowns in the NFL right now? I don't think so. I mean, they're now competing against the Texans and the Jets on who is the biggest clowns and who is doing the worst job. I never for a second thought it was going to be possible by any other team in the NFL to be as bad as the Jets or the Texans. But you know what? The 49ers are freaking sniffing the cake of becoming the worst run organization and team in the freaking league. And I have to agree with Grant Cohn on this. He has some good inputs on this. He's not a fan, he says, so I can understand that he's trying to come from an outside point of view on this, and like a reporter or journalist, not a fan. Call it like having an independent opinion. I'm biased in many ways, so I speak more based on feelings and the fan feelings and stuff, and I get maybe a little bit more worked up. But I have to agree with him that this is beyond. It doesn't even make me angry or mad. It just makes me go, is it really freaking possible? Is this a comedy show, or is this a football team? It's like, when you think things couldn't get any worse, and right now, I don't think this will be the end. There's probably more out there that will be revealed about this team and how it is run. I mean, I can't believe it. Here we have an organization run by Ed York. He has probably the final approval, so he has to put his stamp on things. Especially when we talk about contracts and money and draft and stuff like that. If are we going to trade up or down or trade players for draft picks? I'm pretty sure Ed York has a final say in things. And so if you look back since John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan joined the 49ers, and I probably overlook a lot of things, but I'm going to take the most outrageous things. Drafts. We drafted Solomon Thomas instead of Mahomes. That's mind-blowing thing number one. And all the other draft we have done, I'm gonna say that maybe 3 or 4 has been like quality draft. The rest of it is like, oh man, neat, you know. And the way we acted this year in the draft, drafting away, pawning. We went to the pawn shop and pawned away 4 draft picks, 3 first and a second, I think it was, or it was a third, something like that, and to go and get Trey Lance when we really probably didn't have to. Maybe Trey Lance wasn't even the player they wanted. That's the glory of this shit. And then before the draft, we tried to recruit Aaron Rodgers. So you are burning one player that you already had on the roster that you're saying, oh no, he is our starter. He's gonna go forward. And when we didn't trade up for just for fun, but we're still gonna entertain to call Rodgers because we have to. If you entertain the thought of calling Rodgers, and if that was like you because you had to, why did you decline to sign Tom Brady when Tom Brady contacted you? And Tom Brady probably would give you a better chance of winning than Aaron Rodgers right now. It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. This whole last 2 years, nothing makes sense. Everything is a pile pot of garbage. It's like a pile of. It's like you're walking on the sidewalk and you're like, oops, there's a dog turd right there on a hot summer day. And you know what? You raise your leg and you try to step over it so you don't step in it. But then you lift your head and you step in another poo-poo turd. It's like one thing after another. It's like, really? And then you mistreat players, and then you say, oh, they didn't step up to the plate and blah blah. How can you evaluate Ayuk when you barely played him in the couple of first games of the season, and then you go public and say he hasn't really elevated his game playing or his playing or his skill set or anything, but you didn't play him. You gave him like two sets of plays in the first game, 3 sets of plays. How is he going to be proving to you when he has to receive balls from Garoppolo, who barely can throw the fucking ball? So you're treating players like shit, and you go out in media and talk shit about players instead of having a direct talk with the player himself. And the way you have talked about Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo in the media and the way you've been treating them is totally wrong. This club is so run by amateurs. What we have seen so far is what we have been proved is they have proven to us that Kyle Shanahan is not a great head coach. They have also proven to us that John Lynch is not a good GM. They also proven that Jed York is a terrible owner. And so all 3 of them are like, I mean, it is Huey, Dewey, and Louie. It is really that. That's what it is. It is a comic book. It's like a. I mean, 1, we flinched on Mahomes. 2, we said no thanks to Tom Brady. 3, we didn't give Buckner a new contract. Buckner should have had a new contract and Armstead not. We drafted Kinlaw when there was other players that we could have drafted that was better. We tried to get Aaron Rodgers. Well, it was a phone call. That was a phone call that could have messed up a lot of things. I mean, this team is, we are nothing but we're nothing but a glorified edition of the Jets. We're a polished edition of the Texans. And by the end of the year, and here's another thing that Kyle have said. Kyle have said he's not going to start Trey Lance until we're out of the playoff picture. Do we need to remind Kyle Shanahan that we are 2-4 and we're not getting to the Super Bowl or the playoffs this year? We have no chance. We have no chance of going to the playoffs. Because here's what's going to happen. Both the Cardinals and the Rams from our division is going to go through. So, if I have understand the wild card thing and the seeding thing correctly, there is a possibility that 3 teams can go through to the playoffs from one division. So I guess that means that the best third team in the NFC, between the NFC North, South, East, West, the best third team among those 4 gets a wild card spot, if I understand correctly. We are not even close. If you look at the best third team in those 4, and if you look at their schedule going forward, we have no chance. No chance. I mean, right now, we're meeting the Bears this Sunday, and the Bears are 3-3, and they are the best third team, I think, right now. We are 2-4. So, if we lose against the Bears, guess what? Not only will we be sacked further backwards in the losing column, but head-to-head game is also playing a part here. I made a video earlier that I launched about same time as this one, and where I said that this game is meaningless, and it is really meaningless because we have no chance of going to the playoffs. I mean, the teams we're meeting now, Cardinals, Rams, Bears, that's 3 tough teams right there that we're not going to be able to beat them. We can maybe win another 3 or 4 games this season if we are lucky. So we're not going to, and you're not going to go to a playoff as a wild card third team, the best third team with a 6-11 or 5-12 or something like that. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not this year. Not this year. So, what can we take from this? Well, we can take from it that the 49ers now is not a football organization anymore. We are a comedy club. We are like a soap opera. If you're tired of the dynasty, if you're tired of Dallas, you're tired of Falcon Crest, Knox Landing, stuff like that, Bold and the Beautiful, or something like that. If you're tired of those shows, I urge you to tune into the 49ers because they are a soap opera right now. It's not a football team. It's not a football organization. It's run by, and I'm going to say this, the club and the organization is run, managed, and coached by idiots. Idiots. Morons. Clueless idiots and morons. They're showing you that they don't know what they're doing. And it's like they're taking the club not only to the pawn shop, but they're taking the club to the casino and they're betting everything on red. And oh, doopy, it turned out to have hit black. That's not a responsible way to do things. They're playing with the future of this team, and I can tell you this. If this is how they do things now, 6-7 weeks in, and they've been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years, guess what? They're not going to change. Nothing is going to change. except for the fact that if they keep this up too long, guess what? Players are going to go a little bit unruly. They're going to be uneasy. Players wants to win stuff. They don't care about politics. They don't care about how things are being run. They just want to know that the team is being run towards a goal. Not because they want, if we play the politics of trade, value for the players, what do they think they have in Garoppolo? Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Peyton and Joe Montana mixed in one? Heck no. Now, Garoppolo's trade value right now is probably no more than a 4th pick, 5th pick. And with a $27 million contract, boom, it's a suicide. You give him $27 million a year, and he is a flop. And then you turn around when people wants to come and do trades, and you treat him like you have the biggest gold bar outside of Fort Knox. The problem is there's no gold in Fort Knox. So what you have is bogus. It's fake. It's shit. You have nothing. And you run around and you try to kind of like influence people about, we got a lot. We got Garoppolo. We got this, and this is what we want, and we're not going to entertain any offers that are less than this. What are you telling people? You're basically telling people that regardless of what you want, don't come to us. So you're basically right now screwing the pooch for the next trade, for the next draft. How do you think people are going to think when this is how you treat the value? If this is how you value Garoppolo, how are you valuing Kittle, Armstead, Bosa, Warner, Tart, Ward? Those are the players you have, Trent Williams, that you have right now that can be a trade assets for you. Because for the love of Christ and the love of God, we need it. Because we don't have any first round picks coming up for the next 3 years. So you need to start thinking about how you can gain some draft picks next year after this season. But if this is how you value things, forget about it, because Kittle is almost on as an expensive contract as Garoppolo. So is Warner. So is Trent Williams. And you know what? Bosa's coming up for a renewal. What are you going to give him? $30 million a year? Nah. You are setting yourself up for failure. I have said it before, and I say it again. I'm going to let's calm down a little bit there, because now the fan is taking over. I'm not speaking from an outside person's point of view. You guys, Shanahan, Lynch, and York, you guys, the big Huey, Dewey, and Louie idiots, are ruining the club. Keep on doing this and see where it takes you. It takes you to the promised land, and not the good one. It's the promised land where you find the Texans and the Jets and the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Giants. The bottom feeders, the bottom league, the little league, the mini league. All of a sudden, not a lot of free agents wants to play for you. Not a lot of the big players wants to play for the club. So you're going to rely on second, third, and fourth stringers and maybe some draft picks. But you know what? Some of these draft people can say, you know what, I don't want to play for you. You can trade me, but I don't want to play for this team. Draft picks can say that. Will a lot of people do that? Probably not, because they want the fame and fortune and the money and the opportunity to play in the NFL. But it has happened. It has happened before. So don't say it can't happen. This club with this organization and this owner and this team set up is doomed. We are doomed. If you think that we can win any of these upcoming games that I have here on my thing, no. If you think we're going to be any better next year, no. Do you think we're going to be any better in 2023? No. Do you think we will be any better in 2024? No. Will we be on the map to go towards the promised land of Super Bowl and playoffs in 2025? No. 2026? No. 2027? No. 2028? Maybe. 2029? Maybe. 2030? Maybe. You know, we have kicked ourselves. Not we. I'm talking like on the behalf of the 49ers. We have kicked ourselves so hard in the arse or the ass or where the sun don't shine that it's hard to get the foot back out. So you're limping around on one foot while the other foot is stuck up in your ass. That's what we are doing at the 49ers right now. That's what the Jets has been doing for 20 years. Is that what you want to do? Then go ahead. And you will see that the seats at the Levi Stadium... Oh, that's another fucked up thing that they did. They built the Levi Stadium. Oh my God. The worst stadium in the NFL. It may be one of the worst locations in the NFL. It's almost like they're trying so hard to screw the pooch and to mistreat the fans and ruin this organization, ruining the legacy of this club, ruining this team. That's what they're doing. Someone has to go in and by force take this team away from these owners. I mean, there must be some kind of NFL law somewhere that says if you mistreat the club too badly, you can, there's probably not, but wishful thinking. But someone has to rescue this club. I don't see this club this team or this organization going anywhere near the Super Bowl again with Ed York, Kyle Shanahan, and John Lynch. I'm sorry, but Huey, Dewey, and Louie is not going to make it.